What's up, everybody? Let's talk about what happened with me today in the marketplace. The number one thing we're going to talk about is wheat. You're all probably saying, what? What's this guy talking about? Wheat? That's not the stock market. That's right, it's not the stock market. We'll talk about the S&P 500 a little bit after this. But the big move, and I talked about this yesterday. I just said it yesterday. I'll put a link in the description below this video. So when you get done watching this one, go look at it and go watch it. When I put the link in there, I'll put exactly the timestamps for where I talked about wheat. So you can just click on it, it'll take you right to that section in the video. You don't have to go chase it down. But yesterday I talked about how wheat looked like it was going to be a good trade. So I took 5 contracts, and take a look at that circle on the upper right hand part of the screen. Look at that huge gap up. Oh my gosh, what a massive. Look at that thing. It just gapped up overnight. And actually, trading for wheat starts the night before. Yeah, some weird hours for some of these futures products, but this is the E-mini wheat futures. I like to call them the E-mini frosty wheats. Frosty mini wheats, baby. And that gap up is just insane. What a massive gap up. I got 5 contracts I took on this. I haven't closed it yet, so I can't show the profit loss because I actually think this is going to go significantly higher. I mean, if you look down below at the Big Daddy forecast, of course, it's like sky's the limit. And the momentum at the bottom is rolled over nicely. Things are looking good. I mean, the candlestick on the day closed below its open, but overall, the gap up is huge. So we'll see how this plays out over the next few days or even weeks or whatever. As I was not in a hurry to close this after I saw this big gap up. So we'll just see how, when I do finally close it, I'll show you guys the profit loss on it. It should be a huge profit, but whatever. Whenever that happens, I'll definitely show you guys how that trade turned out. Now, one interesting thing I want to talk about here with the wheat futures. Now, some of you are going to think this is a bit spooky, but would you believe that if you look back last year on August 27th, the exact same thing happened? I'm telling you, go back and look. You can see the symbol there in the upper left-hand corner on the TOS platform, /XW for the wheat futures. And it did the exact same thing. On the 826 it closed. On the 827 candlestick it gapped up. Yeah. Coincidence? I think not. In any case, usually this time of year, not always, but usually this time of year often, wheat will just take off and start going up big time. So my yesterday's call about wheat being a good trade, oh my goodness, that was spot on. Thank you very much. Turned out to be a good call. And you know how it is. I wish I'd taken 20 contracts, but whatever. I'm happy with 5. We'll just see how this thing goes. What's very interesting is wheat is near all-time highs. You can see the all-time high right there on the screen. And it was just like 2 weeks ago, 774. And there's a really good chance it's going to get up to that again, maybe break it. I don't know. We'll see what happens. But I've seen wheat this time of year trade up all the way into like October and just continue to go up. If it does that this year, it's going to blast through the all-time high. You want to know why? Inflation. Yeah. Food. Wheat is food, right? We get our bread. A lot of wheat's in all kinds of products, crackers, you name it. Wheat flour, it's in a lot of stuff. Inflation, guys and gals. You're seeing it right there on the screen. We'll see what happens from now through the rest of September. We only have one more trading day in August. And I'm going to talk about the S&P 500 here in just a moment, because there's only one more trading day, which is Monday. And then Tuesdays, I believe, is the September 1st. Let me just verify that. Yeah, sorry. No, there's 31 days in August. Duh. So, yeah, 2 more days. 2 more days in August. 2 more trading days in August. So, Wednesday will be the 1st. Okay, so huge. Wheat was the play of the day, guys. The S&P 500 was nice. Had a nice, good update and all-time new highs. But wheat was the play. Look at that massive candlestick. Gap up. All right, let's look at the S&P 500. But I'm going to show something a little different today. We're looking at the monthly chart for the S&P 500 futures. This is the E-mini futures. You know, some of you may not realize that the S&P 500 used to have what's called the big contracts. They don't trade them anymore. They stopped trading them, I think, a few years ago. But before the E-mini futures came along, the big contracts, that was the only thing that was traded. Eventually, they went out of vogue, as they say, and everybody started trading E-mini. And now we got E-micros, which is really nice for retail traders like myself. Okay, let's look at this monthly chart. You can see at the in the middle of the screen at the top, you can see the last, basically, I got the last 3 or 4 months there in a rectangle, and we've been breaking all-time new highs every month. Really nice, right? You can, but look at the stochastic momentum index. I got a yellow rectangle around it. If you can't see the numbers, I'm going to read them out to you. 92.5 and 89.1. Now, why do I have those numbers highlighted? What's the big deal? I talked about this before, and I think in a video I did recently. These numbers right now, as it stands right now today, and we'll see how things go on close of the last day of the month, which is Tuesday. But as it stands right now, the stochastic momentum index is at an all-time record high. It's never been higher, ever. Well, at least not in the last 36 years. And I bet if I go back throughout history on the Dow Jones, which goes back to like 1928, I think, or something, or 1926 or 1922 or whatever it goes back to, I don't think we'll see the stochastic momentum index higher than it's ever been. So at least in the last 3.5 decades, we have never seen the stochastic momentum index this high. As a matter of fact, in the month of July, also broke the record. Month of July, which has already been closed, done and dusted, no other month has ever had a momentum index, stochastic momentum index higher. And August looks like it's going to beat it. I mean, just look at looking at the indicator itself, the blue and yellow line, look at that thing. It's nearly pegged to the top of the line. I mean, it's got no place to go. It's absolutely just about pegged. Okay? So, you all know the expression pump and dump, right? You get these people back in the day, you don't hear it as much as you used to, but back in the day you used to always hear, they're just pumping and dumping. The big funds are pumping and dumping. Hedge funds pump and dump. Well, you want to talk about the ultimate pump and dump, just go look at the Federal Reserve and BlackRock. They're doing the big time pump and dump right here. Idiots. Total freaking idiots. In any case, come down to the Big Daddy forecast, 427.7. Now that's not the highest we've ever seen on the monthly chart. Remember, this is a monthly chart, but it's rare. If the Big Daddy forecast, which there's not much time left here in August, but it doesn't really matter. The Big Daddy forecast is just going to continue doing its thing, regardless of what month we're in. But if it gets too much higher, like it's into the 430s on a monthly chart, yeah, watch out. And we're pretty close. If it gets to like 435, 436, 438, okay, this is my own predictive algorithm, and I know the numbers pretty well based on what type of chart I'm looking at. If it gets up into the 430s, guys, watch out. Something huge is going to happen. Why do I know? It always does. Every single time. Without fail. If it gets up into the 430s, especially the high 430s, I don't care how much pumping and dumping they do. They're not going to be able to hold back this storm. Okay, come down to the VIX, 1639. Kind of low, been tapering off, which is to be expected as prices go up. I don't know if this thing's going to crash in the fall, winter like I believe it's going to. It may not, but I think we're going to see something very huge, and I still contend it's going to happen this fall, winter. I've seen some other back in 1998 through or 99 through like 2002ish. I'm in the IT industry, so back then in those days, everybody was talking about Y2K. Some of you may remember that. Some of you older folks, the younger ones probably don't know. But Y2K was a big deal. They were afraid the computers were going to crash because they weren't ready to handle the year 2000. All the software wasn't designed to handle the year 2000, so everybody was freaking out. They thought all the computers around the world were going to come to a screeching halt and ATMs were going to spit cash out and all kinds of weird stuff. It never really materialized, of course, but that's what everybody's fear was. Now, remember also in 2001, we had the first Iraqi war, if I remember right. And we, of course, had the Twin Towers, right? 9/11, 2001. So for that 2 or 3 year period, like a 3-year period, there was a massive, massive decline in the stock market, a 50% loss. 50%. Okay? And yes, there were world circumstances going on, but that's exactly what's going on now, guys. You think about it. Look at the world circumstances right now. You got the total catastrophe in Afghanistan by this. You know, I know some of you might be Democrats. Don't get pissed at me, but you got this idiot in the White House, okay? He's an idiot. And everybody knows he's an idiot. Even you Democrats have to admit he's an idiot. Guy can't spell his last name and complete a sentence. And you got soldiers that have been killed and murdered over there, okay? Let's just hope Afghanistan doesn't turn into a bigger mess than it already is. And, of course, you got the COVID, which, you know, is at least half of it's a lie. So we got plenty of crap on the world stage, right? That's setting up this big crash, right? It's all, you know, it's all in the cauldron, as they say. All right, look at the very bottom there. You got the Dow Jones Transportation. You'll see a square, yellow square there. The divergence continues, guys. This on the monthly chart. If you compare the square at the top with the square at the bottom, what do you see? You got a green line going up, but the Dow Jones Transportation at the bottom, that's a red line going down. S&P 500 up, Dow Jones Transportation continues down. Divergence. And by the way, this is the largest divergence that I've seen. And I went back again 35 years. All the way back to 1984, I think it was. And there's never been a bigger divergence than what we're seeing right now. Okay, so that's my take on the S&P 500. Yeah, it hit all-time new highs today. That's awesome. I didn't get a chance to trade it today because obviously wheat was just so licking my chops on the wheat, you know. But yeah, for those that traded the S&P 500, awesome. It was a good day. I think the range was 46 points today. Plenty of opportunity, plenty of profit. So kudos to anybody that traded that. So let me just go back to the wheat real quick here as I get ready to close up this video. You know, not every day is going to be a profit loss. Not every day is going to be where I take a position and close it on the same day or the night before and have profit loss. You know, when you get a situation like this with the wheat, well, I'm not going to close it. I mean, think about it. Would you guys close this position knowing how hot it is? Right? You don't do that, right? There's times where you go from, like I said before, I'm not really a day trader. I do more swing trades. So this trade actually that we're looking at on the screen here for the wheat, this is more my style. This is where I usually make the big bucks. Okay, but lately the market's been so hot and different futures products have been so hot, I've been able to open and close them on the same day or within 24 hours. But this is normally how I trade right here. Okay, you get these big moves and you know you'd be foolish to close it because it hasn't run its course yet. So I'm looking forward to see what wheat's going to do. If it does something weird and works against me, I'll have to close it off. But right now, it's, oh my gosh, it's so huge. I'm hoping it's going to be a really big profit. I believe it's going to be. That's all I got going on for today, guys and gals. Don't forget to subscribe. Make sure you click the thumbs up. I really appreciate it. And the bell notification so you get notified all of these as I put them out. We'll talk to you all again Monday.